This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. I personally love the holidays and I just find so much happiness and so much joy in the holidays, but I know it's not that way for everyone. When it comes to the holidays, for some of us, it brings a lot of stress. It brings a lot of family drama. It brings a lot of dread. It just brings a lot of emotions that maybe we bury down throughout the rest of the year, and the holidays can kind of just bring that up. They are also just stressful in general. Like there's a lot to do during the holidays, and that's where I think therapy is very helpful. And if you're looking for a great gift, maybe consider giving the gift of therapy. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Tori today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Tori. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. I really like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. I think the deodorant wipes are awesome to bring with you everywhere. I keep mine in the car, in the gym bag. They're awesome. And you also get free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off Lumi Starter Pack with the exclusive code and link. And for a limited time, returning customers get $5 off their next purchase of $30 or more. You can use code MANIFEST at lumedeodorant.com. That's LUMEDEODORANT.com. Thank you, Lumi, for making this holiday season smell a whole lot better. Welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I'm your host, Tori DeSimone, and I hope you guys are having an amazing start to the week. Happy Manifest Monday. It is Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving. As you guys are listening to this episode, I'm actually in Idaho, visiting my family for Thanksgiving. And it's so funny that my whole family decided to relocate to Idaho, of all places. I've explained it before on the podcast, but my entire mom's side of the family, we're all from PA, but my mom's side of the family just decided that like Idaho is the place to be. So now my entire family on my mom's side is out in Idaho. That would be my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, my grandma, and probably most importantly, my sister. My sister moved out there 2016. She's never looked back. So yeah, we're out in Idaho visiting my sister, but I'm pre-recording this before I obviously go to Idaho. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, hello. If you did not tune in last week, then you missed the announcement that I'm in the middle of building out a podcast studio. So head on over to the YouTube channel, Manifest with Tori DeSimone YouTube, and you guys can see the progress of this podcast studio. It really is a lot of fun putting together a podcast studio. I just have to like decorate it. I have a couple of things that I need to play around with. This blanket is new. It's green. Last week I had a white blanket, but it was just a lot with like I was wearing a white sweatshirt, much like I am this week, with a white chair, white wall, white blanket. It was just a lot of white going on. So I got a little green, and I'm going to do some more greenery around me. That's really what I want. And ideally, these lights behind me are purple. I want them to be like a warm toned white, but the color isn't right on these settings of lights. So I have to play around with that a little bit. But nonetheless, if you guys are not watching this on YouTube, then you guys should go check it out. You should go check it out on YouTube is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes words are hard, and that was an example of that. But anyway, happy Monday, you guys. I am recording this at night, and I never really record my episodes at night. It's far and few between whenever I do, and it kind of is just giving me like old Manifest vibes, and I'm really here for it. And honestly, I'm really loving it. So I'm happy to be here at nighttime recording this. It's almost 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and I'm loving it. It kind of reminds me when I was doing YouTube in high school, like just for fun. And I would have like a full day at school, and then I would come home and film a YouTube video and then edit and upload it. And that was like my life, and it was really fun. And it's ironic because I'm kind of going to be talking about my YouTube journey today as well. So let's quickly summarize what this episode is going to be about. So This is an episode all about how to manifest your dream life, even if / when you're feeling lost in life, because I don't think I touch on this enough. And it's something that I definitely need to touch on, considering that the show, we talk a lot about manifestations and how to live not only your dream life, but how to show up as this version of your best self, which I refer to a lot in this show as your higher self. I'm also going to link an episode down below about how to show up as her, but her is you. It's one of my favorite episodes. I find that it just makes this concept really digestible for everyone. So I'll link that down below. But this is a concept that I wanted to talk more about. I've been reading The Power of Now, which is the current book for our Manifest Book Club, which, if you guys are part of the Manifest Book Club, amazing. You guys will already know that the Power of Now episode is going up on November 30th, so about 2 weeks. And you still have some time before that episode comes out. Maybe like, what's that? Actually, 10 days. So if you guys want to purchase the book and read along with me, I'll have a link to it down below. But essentially, the Manifest Book Club is we read a book once a month, and then I post an episode on the last Thursday of every month discussing it. And the great thing about this book club is that it's virtual, meaning when you read the book and then we discuss it, you don't have to be like actually timely with us. You could read the book and then a year later listen to the episode, because the episodes are evergreen. You know, they never really go out of, they don't get dated, because we're just talking about books and there's no timeline on books, which is really cool. So you guys can read, you know, if you're listening to this a year from when this episode came out and you're interested in this topic, definitely pick up the book, The Power of Now, and then listen to the Manifest Book Club that comes out November 30th. But anyway, I've been reading this book so much and I really love it. It's basically applying the spiritual practices of The Untethered Soul, which was the first book that we read for the Manifest Book Club, and how to really apply that into your daily life. And what's really great about The Power of Now is that it has the devil's advocate, quote unquote. So, like, all of the questions that we want to ask are asked and addressed in depth in this book. And it's really very powerful. I love this book and I'm really excited to do the episode about it and chat about it. I have a really great guest coming up for that episode. Anyway, it really just pushes the present moment, hence the title, The Power of Now. So anyway, this week there was also a Scorpio new moon, and I will be the first to admit that I definitely have an interest in astrology, but I don't know much about it at all. I know my sun, I know my moon, I know my rising, I know my Chiron, I know my human design. And that's all because my friend Chelsea, like, she has really like sat me down and she's like, okay, this is what you are. This is your human design. This is your, if you guys want to know, I'm a generator. I'm a 5/1. I'm a Aries sun. I'm a Cancer. Is it Cancer? What's the crab? Cancer, I think. Cancer moon, Aries rising. And I have my Chiron's in Scorpio. Chelsea, I'll have Chelsea back on and she can like really tell you all about astrology. I don't know much about it. I would love to learn more. But right now I don't know much about it. But what I do know is that there was a Scorpio new moon, and I think it actually happened last night when I'm recording this. So when you guys are listening, it happened a week ago. And I was watching this Scorpio new moon video on TikTok, and the girl was pretty much talking about how the new moon is very powerful for manifesting your dream life. And obviously, we talk all the time on this show about how to manifest. And I even have a planner called the Manifest Planner. And the first 10 pages of the planner are about manifesting your dream life. But I never really addressed how to manifest a dream life, or honestly, anything in your life, if you're feeling lost in life. And I feel like that is doing myself a disservice and anyone listening to this a disservice, because I'm just here assuming that we all know what we want to do with our lives. And that's not always the case, Being able to manifest is a gift in and of itself because it means that you have some sort of sense of direction in the future. And reading The Power of Now definitely challenges this entire concept of the future, but I'm just going to like put that to the side for now. We can talk about that in the book episode. But this has come up because I was talking to some friends that are going through a difficult time right now. And things that kept coming up with my friends and even like with myself was, how am I supposed to go after a life I don't even know I want? And that is such a good point. And what I mean by that is, if I were to sit down 5 years ago, I would probably not have thought this is the life that I'd be leading 5 years ago. I think that I would have thought like 5 years ago, I was 20 years old. I just opened Stride, and I was I was such a different person 5 years ago. Like, I probably would have thought that I would have had 10 Stride locations at least at this point. I definitely didn't see a pandemic coming in the mix. I don't think anyone did. Definitely didn't see that happening. I think I would have thought that I would have been like married, honestly, because I had no concept of time. And I was like, oh my God, 25, I'll be so old. That's when you get married. I don't know. Like, I just think my life would have been so different than it currently is. And that's not to say that I don't love the life I have. I absolutely adore the life I have, and I'm so entirely grateful for it. The point that I'm just trying to come up with is like, you don't always know the trajectory of your life, nor should you. And when I say stuff like, how am I supposed to go after life? I don't even know what I want. I don't mean that to be like depressing, like you don't want to live life. I mean it in the sense of like, how am I supposed to know what I want my life to look like in a year if I don't even really know what I want right now or in a week from now? Or like, how am I supposed to picture 20 years down the line when I can't even find a job right now, or whatever it might be, whatever that hesitation is? There comes a time in our lives when we feel lost or maybe just unclear of what the future holds. And I myself have been saying for the past 2 years on this show or so that I've just felt very much so like in a transitional phase of life. And I have to admit, I really love where this transitional phase of life is taking me. Because of this, I've found yoga. I recently moved. I'm heading down a path that I don't think I could have predicted 2, 3, even 1 year ago, but it's one that I'm really loving and I'm fully embracing and I'm wholeheartedly embodying. And all this is to say that there are moments of life where we feel lost and uncertain. So manifesting a dream life can feel really daunting when you just don't really know what you want that dream life to look like. And that's okay. There's going to be moments of extreme clarity. And then there's going to be moments where you're like, I just don't know. So I want this episode to be for you when you're in that moment of, I don't know, even if at one point you felt like you had it all figured out. And now maybe you're like, is that really the life I want? Like, are you challenging your thoughts and your beliefs, or are you, questioning yourself? That's totally normal. It's human. It's okay to do that. So this is kind of for that thought process and that time in your life. Also, not to mention like what we talked about last week, the pressure of finding a career at such a young age, and then adding on the pressures of work and bills and responsibilities and obligation. Like, sometimes it's just really hard to manifest a dream life. And it's always fun to come on here and be like, dream big, da da da. But like, life is real. Like, the hardships of life are real, and sometimes you just don't know. So today's episode are for the moments in life that we just feel lost and where we don't know what we want to do with our lives long term, but we want hope and we want something to work towards, and we just want to feel like we're in some sort of control of a life that we have, power over. Like, our destiny is in our own hands. At the same time, it's written in the stars. Somehow those two can like coexist, and that's where I like to keep that. So if this message resonates with you, I feel like this episode really is for you. So here's my advice. And this advice will kind of just come back to it, but it's really just one question that I ask you, and it's, what do you want right now? Like, right now, in this moment of time, what is it that you want? When I think about my life, honestly, at this moment in time, I cannot picture what my life is going to look like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, in 25. Sure, I have things that I would love in the future. Like I would love a home that's on land, and I would love to be married, and I would love to potentially have children. I would love to be happy. I would love to have my parents around with me. I would love to have financial stability. I would love to be happy. I would love to practice yoga. I would love to, I'd love to be by the water. I'd love to be at the beach. Like I have things in my life that I know that I would love to be surrounded by and how I want to feel and things like that. But when it comes to like career, I don't know, age, the time I want to hit all these milestones, I have no idea. Number in the bank account, I don't know. What I want my house to look like, I don't know. And I feel like 5 years ago, a year ago even, like maybe I would have had some of these answers, but because these past few years have I've just been going with where life is taking me. It's brought me on this new path that I just am absolutely loving and fully embracing. Thinking about this ideal dream life can sometimes feel daunting, and I don't necessarily have all the answers, and that's okay. And I feel like the reason that I can't picture it is because I think what I want has just totally changed, but I'm also just challenging and at the same time unlearning old beliefs and like old goals that I had. Like obviously the life that I wanted when I was 30, when I was 20 is vastly different than the life that I want now at 30, 5 years later being 25. And that's normal. That's being human. Like your life changes, and maybe your goals and your trajectory of your life changes based on things that you could have never saw coming, such as a pandemic, things like that. Also, as we grow, we completely change. So our goals change, what we value changes. So like right now, what I want for the future might not be what I want a year from now. So when it comes to manifesting, when you are feeling lost or uncertain in life, I think what I want to do day to day, and that's kind of what I base it off of. Like, what do I want tomorrow to look like? When I'm done recording this podcast, like, what do I want the rest of my night to look like? Like, what ideally would that look like? When you're done listening to this podcast, like, ideally, what does the rest of your day look like? Like, what do you want that to look like? What interests and passions and desires would a dream day today for you look like? And I had this thought yesterday in yoga class. It was before the practice started, and I was taking a 9:30 a.m. yoga class. It was on a Monday, and I never take a 9:30 class on a Monday because I normally have a meeting at 10 a.m. So I just never take a Monday morning yoga class. But yesterday I didn't have the meeting, so I took a yoga class, and I really loved it. And it just started my day on such a good note. And I was taking this class, and before it started, I was thinking that I didn't really know what I wanted my future to look like and I just freshly watched that video of the Scorpio new moon, and this girl was like, manifest your dream life. And I was like, I don't know what that looks like right now, if I'm being totally honest. And I was thinking about that before the class started, of how I didn't know what I wanted my future to look like, second by second, minute to minute, day to day. But I knew that in an ideal world, I knew what I wanted the rest of yesterday to look like. Like I was taking that 9:30 class, and then I wanted to go home. I wanted to shower. I wanted to get ready, like do my hair and makeup, and then I wanted to podcast. And I just wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about what I did in yoga. I wanted to talk about what I'm learning. I wanted to talk about thoughts from the weekend, what I did this weekend, books I'm reading. Like I just wanted to podcast, and I just wanted to connect, and I wanted to talk. And in an ideal world, like that's what I would want to do every single day. I would love to produce a daily podcast show. And I'm kind of speaking this into the universe and into existence right now. I've never talked about it really, but this is something that I would really love to do. And a direction that I would love to bring this podcast is I would love to have this be a daily podcast show that goes along with a 15, maybe like a 10 to 15 minute yoga sequence, yoga flow, to move energy in the morning. You guys know that I have been talking about this a lot, like morning walks and yoga in the morning. It's so powerful. And going through yoga teacher training, I'm learning so much. And I am really excited to share a lot about what I'm learning upon completion of my 200 hours. And then, of course, to always remain a student and just keep learning more and sharing that knowledge and whatnot. But I would love to have this be a daily podcast show where it would begin with a yoga practice, or even if you don't do the practice, you listen to it with like a 10 to 15 minute walking meditation, some form of moving energy. Like when you go for your morning walks, like if this was the podcast that you put on for that walk, I would love that. And just to be there every day with you and start the day with you and wake up with you, like that's really where I want the show to go. So it would begin with yoga, and then there would be there would be a message through that 15-minute yoga practice where it would just be carried through the whole practice. And then afterwards, I would sit down in my studio, and then we would talk about that message from the practice in depth. And ideally, I would leave you with a journal prompt and you'd be on your way. So it'd be like a 30-minute episode every morning. And ideally, like that's really where I want the show to go. And Mondays, I think I would keep normal, where they're like these sit down in-depth episodes where we have topics and we talk about them. And then I would still do like the bonus manifest book club episodes on Thursdays. And then I would love a guest every now and then when it feels right. And I feel like those guests would either be on like Sundays for a bonus episode or just any day of the week, honestly. But that's really where I want the show to go. So truthfully, what I would love for this manifested dream life that I think, and the day that I would want, it would look like I would wake up, I would read, I would walk, I would take a yoga class, I would come home, I would record a 10 to 15 minute yoga flow, and then I would podcast, and then I would edit and upload that podcast. And then I would do behind the scenes podcast and brand work. And then I would do like my nighttime activities. So whether that's read or socialize or cook dinner or do a hobby or whatever it might be. And then I would rinse and repeat and do it the next day. And to me, I feel really aligned with this and really excited about this. Like this really lights me up and it makes me really excited. But what I just explained, that podcast show, I couldn't have dreamed that a year ago. I wouldn't have thought about that 5 years ago. I couldn't have manifested this either because it wasn't even something that I knew I was interested in a year ago. Like a year ago, I wasn't really taking a ton of yoga classes. It really was a retreat that I had in February of 2023 that put me more so on the yoga trajectory path. And I didn't know I was, like this a year ago. I was definitely craving some form of spiritual nurturing mixed with like a workout, but I don't know. It just wasn't yoga a year ago. So starting this year, 2023, I had no idea the impact that yoga would have on my life. Like if I were to read my letter to my future self, it would have none of that listed in it. You know what I mean? So I had no idea that I'd be where I am today, but I've been open and I've trusted the universe, and I trust that every move and every action has gotten me exactly to where I need to be, and that everything that I'm doing has actually already been decided for me and it's written in the stars for me, and it's just up to me to lean into it, not to fight it or to resist it, but just to embrace it and to thank it and to cherish it and to honor it and to simply go with it. So if you're lost or you're feeling uncertain in your life and that you just don't know what the F it is you want to do with your life, I want to ask you, what is it that you want to do today? If you could completely just say, okay, like today, how do I want to spend my day? How do I want to spend my time? What would that answer look like? What interests do you have that you can dive deeper into? If you know that you're job hunting and you have like no idea what you want to do with your life, but you know that you love reading, for example, could you lean more into reading? Could you potentially see yourself writing a book one day? Could you start a TikTok or a YouTube channel or a blog about reading? Could you write book reviews? Could you start a book club? Could you join a book club? Because while this interest and joy in reading might be a hobby, you really never know where your interests could take you and what your interests could turn into if you allow yourself to really lean into it. And this kind of ties back to the whole book, The Power of Now, how the future, and I'll kind of get into this later in this episode too, but the future is just a concept of the past, right? Like we only know what we know because we've lived it. And we only know what we know because we've read about it or we've seen things or we've personally experienced them. So to us, the future is just, I keep wanting to say a representation, but I don't think that's the word that I'm really looking for. It's just a concept of the past. And we look at the future as something nuanced that we haven't experienced yet, but we can only assume the future based on experiences that we've had in the past. And if we are going to create a future for ourselves that we can only dream of, we have to kind of let go of the past because we're limiting ourselves when we think of a future that we only know of because of the past. Like I think I want a house that I can visualize in my mind because I've seen it before. I'm not looking at that house right now in the present moment because I'm sitting in my podcast studio and I'm not looking at a house. I'm looking at a camera and I'm looking at lights and I'm looking at my microphone. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at this house, but I'm piecing together what a house that I want looks like based on houses that I have seen in the past. But who's to say that my future dream home, maybe I've never even seen what it looks like yet. Like I didn't know I liked white houses with black shutters, for example, until I saw a house like that. So you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. And if you remain present in the moment, like completely, fully present, and that's why you guys should read The Power of Now. It's a very powerful book about being completely and utterly present in the now, then your life really does open up. So if you feel like you don't know what you want your life to look like in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, that's totally okay and totally normal. And I encourage you to just simply ask yourself, okay, what is it that I want to do now? When I'm done listening to this episode, what do I want to do right after this? When I'm finished recording this episode, what do I want to do right after this? That's where I want you to start. What is it that I'm interested in that I want to pursue right now? And I'm going to give you an example of this and how leaning into your interests can completely change your life. When I was young, I loved makeup. I loved it. It always interested me and I was just obsessed with it. And one memory that really sticks out in my mind is when I was in 6th grade. My older sister, the one that lives in Idaho now, was in 8th grade. She was two grades older than me. She was allowed to wear makeup and I was not allowed to wear makeup when I was in 6th grade and she was in 8th grade. You were allowed, my mom said, like in my house, we were allowed to start wearing makeup in 7th grade. So my sister was in 8th grade. She was allowed to wear makeup and I was really jealous, but we were going up and down the aisles of Target looking for makeup for my sister. And I'll literally never forget it. I was so jealous that Maddie got to pick out eyeliner and bronzer and blush and mascara and eyeshadow. And I was so jealous because I so badly just wanted to play around and wear makeup. Like it's all that I wanted to do. I was so jealous. Then a few months later, as soon as I got into 7th grade, I was able to start playing around and wearing light makeup to school. But this is also when very randomly I had an iPod Touch, which I actually looked up iPods like within the past 6 months. They don't make them anymore, which is crazy. I wanted to buy them for running, couldn't buy one. Anyway, I was very randomly on YouTube one day on my iPod, which was so weird because I never went on YouTube ever. This was 2010. Okay, so this was when YouTube was literally cat videos and like Steven's greatest freakouts. Okay, like that was like Charlie bit my finger, like that was this era of YouTube. Okay. YouTube then is nothing like it was, or is, I should say, now. Nothing like it. This was literally 2010. And I was on YouTube for whatever reason. No idea why I even clicked on it. And I came across a makeup tutorial. It was a Katy Perry makeup tutorial. And then right next to that makeup tutorial was this girl, All That Glitters, 21, Elle Fowler. And she was showing this gorgeous big eyeshadow palette from Coastal Scents. And then I came across her sister, Juicy Star of 7. And they called themselves beauty gurus. And I was obsessed. They were my idols and I lived for them. The term influencer was not a thing, okay? They were beauty gurus and that was just what it is. And they would just talk about makeup and they would talk about all things girly. And I was just obsessed. I was obsessed. So watching their videos for a year, I started to play with makeup. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. I personally love the holidays and I just find so much happiness and so much joy in the holidays, but I know it's not that way for everyone. When it comes to the holidays, for some of us, it brings a lot of stress. It brings a lot of family drama. It brings a lot of dread. It just brings a lot of emotions that maybe we bury down throughout the rest of the year, and the holidays can kind of just bring that up. They are also just stressful in general. Like there's a lot to do during the holidays, and that's where I think therapy is very helpful. And if you're looking for a great gift, maybe consider giving the gift of therapy. I started therapy about, 2 years ago at this point, and it has completely changed my life for the better. I was just out to coffee with a friend the other day, and her and I got to talking about therapy and how much of a difference it made in her life. And I agreed with her. I was like, you know what? Not only do I see changes so much in myself, but even just how I communicate with my friends, my relationships, how I show up to any sort of relationship that I have in my life. Like I'm just a completely different person because of therapy. So it's amazing to be able to talk to other friends about it too, and seeing that they have gotten very similar results from therapy. It has just been such an amazing thing, and I would recommend it to anyone. If you're thinking of starting therapy, I would definitely recommend giving BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And the cool thing is that you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Tori today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Tori. I'm thankful for so much this year, like my friends, my family. But honestly, one of the things I'm most thankful for is my Lumi whole body deodorant. Okay, really, I am very thankful for my friends, my family, but I do have to admit, my Lumi whole body deodorant is quite literally one of the things that I cannot imagine my day without. When I say I'm obsessed with this, I truly mean I'm obsessed and I put it everywhere. The reason why is because Lumi is a deodorant like no other. It was created by an OBGYN who discovered that BO isn't just an underarm thing, it's quite literally an all over thing. So she developed a pH optimized deodorant that is clinically proven to block odor everywhere. So I'm not just talking about your pits, but also like your privates, your feet, literally anywhere you could put this stuff. The best part is that no matter where you use it, Lumi is proven to keep working for up to 72 hours. If 3 days of odor control isn't something to be thankful for, I don't know what is. Lumi has a special offer. New customers get $5 off Lumi Starter Pack with the exclusive code NLINK. For a limited time, returning customers can get $5 off their next purchase of $30 or more too. Use code MANIFEST at LumiDeodorant.com. LumiDeodorant.com, code MANIFEST. The way that I'm obsessed with this deodorant is not normal. So here's how I use it. Well, actually, first off, let me tell you the story. Last week for Stride, we got these new sets and they were so cute. I was literally wearing this sweat set every single day for 4 days straight. I'm not even kidding. When I tell you I stunk, like, let's like be real. Like the set was starting to like smell because I was wearing it every single day. I put on Lumi deodorant. You could not smell a freaking thing. You could not smell a thing. This deodorant works so incredibly well. I've never in my life used a deodorant that works as amazingly as this deodorant does. I use this stuff everywhere. I have it, number one, it doubles as my perfume because it's good for you. It's aluminum free, pH balance, like it's good for you. It smells absolutely incredible. I use the toasted coconut one and I love the scent of it. It's like caramel and pumpkin and coconut. I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm obsessed with the smell of it. I get a lot of compliments on it and people don't even know that it's my deodorant that they're complimenting me on. But I also put this everywhere. So I put it underneath my armpits where I feel like most of us put deodorant, but I also use this as an anti-chafing stick. So I will put this on my bikini line whenever honestly, anytime I put any sort of pants on, I always put this on my bikini line as like anti-chafe just because like, things rub together down there. So this has saved me. It has been a life saver. I no longer get chafing. I don't get dry skin. And also I'm completely odor free. And I'll tell you, with yoga teacher training, I'm sweating up a freaking storm all the time. So this saves me. When I say I'm obsessed with Lumi deodorant, like I'm not just saying that, you guys. I live for this product. I love this product. I die for this product. I love Lumi deodorant. I will be gifting it to everyone this year, especially myself. What's really cool, like I mentioned before, it truly works at blocking out BO. It really does do a better job than soap and water alone. Don't get me wrong, I still shower, of course. But whenever I shower and I use Lumi deodorant, I know that I don't have to bring it with me. Like if I use Lumi deodorant and then I take a sweaty yoga class, I still smell good after the class because of the deodorant. Like I said, because it's pH balanced and aluminum free, I feel good putting this everywhere on my body. I never have to worry about aluminum, which I know is a big thing with deodorant. I only use aluminum free deodorant. I find that a lot of them don't smell very good. The Lumi aluminum free deodorant actually smells amazing and you stay smelling amazing. I can't say that about any other deodorant that I've ever tried that's aluminum free, and honestly not even aluminum free. It's just the best. It's baking soda free, it's paraben free, it's pH balanced. It is just like the best out there. It's clinically proven to control odor than a shower alone with soap, which is just amazing. 12 hours after a shower, the average person has an odor level of a 6 out of 10. And with Lumi, the average odor level is a 0 out of 10. I also scanned this on the Yuka app. It was rated excellent. It's just such a good product. I can't recommend it enough. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. I really like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes. I think the deodorant wipes are awesome to bring with you everywhere. I keep mine in the car, in the gym bag. They're awesome. And you also get free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off Lumi Starter Pack with the exclusive code and link. And for a limited time, returning customers get $5 off their next purchase of $30 or more. You can use code MANIFEST at lumideodorant.com. That's LumiDeodorant.com. Thank you, Lumi, for making this holiday season smell a whole lot better. When I started podcasting, an online store was quite literally the furthest thing from my mind. And now that I'm selling the Manifest Planner, it is so easy because all I do is use Shopify. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. So whether you're in the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way up to, oh my God, did I just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or the Manifest Planner, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify has absolutely got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers, and with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to the other leading commerce platforms. And you can sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. When I started selling the Manifest Planner on Shopify, I had no idea how to sell anything online. I had no idea how to build a website. I had no idea how to do literally anything like shipping, taxes, none of that stuff when it came to selling products online. Shopify made it so easy, and they also make your website look so professional with even their most like standard basic plan that they offer. It is so impressive and so amazing how professional it looks. I think you guys would be surprised how many of the biggest brands, I'm talking in the world, use Shopify. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/manifest. You guys, I just like swallowed water and it went down the wrong pipe. And now this is how my voice sounds. And I can't get it back. I've been trying to get it back to normal for like the past 5 minutes. So I think it's going to return to normal the more I talk. But so sorry that it sounds weird like this. Anyway, so I was watching their videos for a year and I started to play with makeup and I started to build my own collection, and makeup just became my hobby. And I wanted to be like Blair so badly. So I asked my mom if I could make YouTube videos. And for some reason she said yes. I like did not think she would say yes, but she did. So she said yes. So I started posting little makeup tutorials on YouTube in 2011. I was in 8th grade. How old are you at that? Like 14, like 13, 14. And I was just having fun with it. Again, the term influencer was literally not a thing. Like that was not a term. No one used it. I was making no money off it. It was just something really fun for me to do. It was just my obsession. Like makeup was something that I loved. It became my hobby. And then I very slowly over time started getting some subscribers on my YouTube channel. My first ever subscriber was named Hannah. And the first friend that I made on YouTube was named Maddie Glam. And her and I still keep in like pretty, I'd say loose contact to this day, but like love her. Like that's my girl. So anyway, when I was in 9th grade, it kind of started to pick up a little bit. I was signed to a small network. They were named Style Hall, and I say small. They were a big network, but I was a small creator for them, so I did not get a lot of attention from them. But I would make a few like $100 off of my videos, like total, like in 9th grade. And I remember lying to people saying that I made $800 a month from my YouTube videos. And I thought to myself, like, only maybe one day I would be able to make that much money off of my YouTube channel. And it was just so fun. Like, I actually even got my first brand sponsorship. It wasn't called a sponsorship, though. Back then, they called it an ambassadorship. And it was with Neutrogena. And my mom actually made the deal. And I think it was $200 a video for 5 videos. And it was so cool. Like at the time, Bella Thorne was the face of Neutrogena. And the way that they worded it in the email was like, I would be an ambassador of Neutrogena, like under Bella. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then my mom was like, you could actually like probably make money off this. So she was my little Kris Jenner, my momager. And yeah, I got like my first sponsorship when I was in 9th grade. It was just really cool. And then in 10th grade is when I started making connections, I guess you could say, in the YouTube world. And looking back on it now, it was pure luck the way that this happened. It was fate. It was like right moment, right time. The way that this happened was I was at an event in IMATS, which stood for International Makeup Artists Trade Show. And if you guys were around for this era of YouTube and the beauty guru world, then you know just how big of a deal this was. This was like BeautyCon and VidCon before these were ever actually conventions. Like this was like the first YouTube convention without meaning to be. Essentially, it's just where all the brands would come and they would sell their makeup essentially for makeup artists, but like anyone could go. So influencers, but at the time they were called beauty gurus on YouTube, they would go and then you would go and meet up with them there, and then you would buy makeup, and pretty much all the makeup was discounted, and it was freaking awesome. I remember bawling out in 8th grade when I went to my first IMATS show. I think I went to 5 in total because they were normally in New York and I'm from Philly. So it was just easy to go up to New York. There was also a few out in LA, and my grandma like kind of lives near LA. Like she has a place out by LA. So like we would go, and she goes there for the winter time. So we would go visit my grandma, and then we would go to IMATS in LA. So it was just like a cool thing that I was very fortunate enough to go to. And so anyway, I just remember bawling out when I was in 8th grade at this IMATS convention. Anyway, I was at this one in New York and I was meeting up with my friend Jasmine. And Jasmine and I were friends from YouTube because she was also signed with Style Hall. And Style Hall like kind of connected us. We collabed together, whatever. We were friends and it was good to like see her in real life. We've met a few times before this. But Jasmine was in the like acting world and she had a friend that was a celebrity, and this girl was on the Disney Channel at the time and she was on like a big show on Disney Channel at the time. And I remember when I met Jasmine, for whatever reason, her friend that was on Disney Channel was also at IMATS with Jasmine. And so I got to meet her and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I was so starstruck, but honestly, like, I can hold it together when I meet celebrities. Like, when I meet anyone that's remotely famous, I keep my cool. I don't know what it is. I do remember when I was really young, I was in California with my family. I was like probably 8 or 9. And I said to myself, if Rihanna walks down the street right now, like I will be really cool about it. I don't know why I thought that, but I never forgot that. Like I just made this like vow to myself, like if I ever meet someone famous in my life, I'm going to be really cool about it. And I was definitely starstruck internally, but I really held it together. And I was just like, hi, I'm Tori. Like, I was just very chill about it. Okay. Anyway, so, but don't get me wrong. Like, I was starstruck. Like, I'm literally just a normal girl that likes makeup. And now I'm at IMATS and I'm meeting like Disney Channel stars. Like, it was really, really cool. Anyway, it was just a cool thing. So, fast forward like 10 minutes later, I was then in an elevator with a much bigger beauty guru than me. At the time, I probably had like, I can't remember, it was probably between 10 and 20,000 subscribers. I want to say like 12,000. For some reason, like that stands out in my mind. It was between 10 and 20,000 subscribers at this point. And I was in the elevator with someone who just hit a million, which in 2013, a million subscribers was a huge deal. There were not many beauty gurus that had a million subscribers. Like there was probably like 10. I'm not even kidding. And she was one of them. And it was just a really big deal. So I was in this elevator with her by pure luck. Like I just got in the elevator and then they came on it in this hotel that I was staying in and that they were also staying in. And she was in the elevator with her mom and she was saying how their room like wasn't ready and they needed somewhere to put their bags. And it was just the three of us in this elevator. And I was like, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but like you guys could put your bags in my room if you want. Like I knew who she was. And obviously she did not know who I was because I'm a very small beauty guru on YouTube. And I was like, you guys can put your bags in my room if you want. Like my room is ready. Like I got here yesterday, so you could put them in there if you want. And for some reason, they said yes. And then the rest was history. My mom was also at this event. So like my mom and her mom got along really well. They like hung out for the rest of the day. I hung out with this beauty guru. I also met up with my friend Jasmine. And then I also think because Jasmine was with this like Disney Channel celeb, that it kind of gave me more credibility and I like looked way cooler than I was, even though I just met this girl. When I tell you this was all fate, like it was literally just like luck of the draw. Like it was right place, right time, man. And because I got close with this, I guess now I'll just say influencer, my life really did change after that. And like, I'll never be someone that will like not give credit where credit's due. Like my life really changed after I made, friends with this one influencer, and I'm just so eternally grateful for her and for the opportunities that she gave me and the world that she kind of opened my eyes to. Like it was really cool. And I was in 10th grade at the time, so I think I was 15 when this all happened, and it was just like a weekend. Like I was in New York for a weekend, and then it was just so cool. So I met so many people after this. I made so many connections, and I really got the opportunities of a lifetime, all because of this one moment in the elevator that I now look back on, and it was fate. Like if you've been following me since those days, and you probably know like who I'm talking about, but I'm really just so grateful for the years that I was really close with her and the path that it put me on. It brought me to LA when I was 17 years old. It got me to go across the country for events. It got me to go to even London, like across the world, well, across the pond maybe. And I just got really insane opportunities that I would have never imagined. I've met really, really cool people that still to this day, it's just like, it just feels like a different lifetime ago. Like it just does not feel like that was me, but it was me 10 years ago. And it was just such a cool life that I had when I was in high school. And I could have never imagined it. And I was able to build a life that I was really proud of. And I was able to graduate high school with a full-time career. And it was really cool. It was just one of the coolest experiences of my life. And it all happened because I loved makeup and because I leaned into it. And then because I had this career and the finances behind me because of this career, I was able to explore other interests. And one of those other interests was spin. When I was 17 and I moved out to LA, I was living on my own, kind of. Like I wasn't living with my mom. I had roommates and stuff. But I just like went a little crazy in like a fun, like let loose, like college kind of way. And I like put on some weight. When I came home from LA, I was like, I want to, tone up, like lose this, like I call it the LA 15, like the freshman 15. I'm so hard on myself. Like when I look back on the pictures and like my mindset at the time, I was like, Tori, are you kidding? But anyway, I was 17 when I came back, and I just wanted to like get in shape and like tone up a little bit. So I started taking spin classes, and I very quickly fell in love with it. But I don't think I would have like really fallen in love with spin as much as I did had I not gone to LA because of makeup. So it really does all connect. Anyway, I started taking a ton of spin classes when I was a senior in high school, and I really leaned into that path so much because I just loved it. And I went every single day. And then I became a spin instructor when I was 18, and I loved that so much that when I was then 20, I opened up my own studio, which is now open and operating. It's called Stride. I opened it in 2018. And then at 22 years old, I opened my second spin studio, and that was in Sea Isle. And had I not had the following from makeup and YouTube and stuff like that, and the confidence that YouTube gave me at a young age, I don't know if I would have ever had the confidence to open my own spin and fitness studios. And had I not leaned into my interest of spin at 18 years old, I can definitely say that I wouldn't own spin studios now. So all of this is to say that I could have never predicted the life that I have lived the past 10 years ago. Like if I sat down when I was 12 and I said, okay, what do the next 20 years of your life look like? When you're 25, like what's your life going to look like? I would have never said any of this ever. I could have never predicted this, but I'm so grateful that I leaned into what interested me, and it brought me on this really crazy path, this really wild journey that I just really love and I appreciate so much, and it's brought me to where I am today. So yeah, like I don't always know what I want the future to look like, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what a dream life looks like right now, and if you're feeling that way too, I really urge and encourage you to lean into what lights you up and what you find interest in. That makeup interest that I had 12 years ago put me right here today talking to you on this microphone as you are listening to this podcast episode. Without my interest in makeup, I would have never started a YouTube channel. And if I didn't start a YouTube channel, I would have never gained a following. And had I never gained a following, I wouldn't have had the insane opportunities that I had in my teenage years. And if I didn't have the opportunities, then I wouldn't have had the confidence to start a business at 20. And if I didn't start a business at 20, then I wouldn't have had the 2019 hustle culture work ethic thing that everyone had, but that was like drilled into me because I had a business. And I'm like, okay, this is how you have to do things. And if I didn't have that hustle culture work ethic, then I wouldn't have started listening to podcasts. And if I didn't start listening to podcasts, then I wouldn't have started my own. And if I didn't have a following, I definitely wouldn't have started my own. And if I didn't have an audience for the past 4 years of this show, then I would have never been talking in this present moment right now to you guys. And all of that I just said stemmed because I had an interest in makeup. Life is a domino effect. So I urge you more than ever, if you have an interest in anything, lean into it. See where it takes you. See the life that it brings you down. See the path that happens, that unfolds in front of you. We build the future off the past because it's all we've ever known. We only manifest a future based on past experiences. But I bet you, if you remain open to receive, you will experience a life that you could not even imagine, because it's going to be unlike any of the experiences that you've ever lived before, unlike any of the experiences you've ever experienced before. So if something interests you, explore it. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out, and simply just ask yourself, what am I interested in right now, today? And how can I lean into that? And look, honestly, the answer might be different today than it is tomorrow. What you're interested in today might be different than yesterday. That's okay. For me, the answers of today, of what am I interested in and what do I want to really lean into, I have two answers: yoga and podcasting. And I'm really interested in how I can merge the two together, which is exactly the concept I talked about 30 minutes ago, where I want a daily podcast show about yoga, about the messages that we can take throughout our yoga practice, and everything I explained. Like, that right now is an interest to me, and I really want to lean into that, and I want to see where that takes me. So instead of what do I want to do with my life, I want you to ask yourself just simply, what do I want to do today? What interests me today? If you're at work or you're driving to your commute, what do you want your day to look like with what you're currently interested in and passionate about? If the answer is nothing and nothing comes to your mind, I encourage you to dig a little bit deeper, because I know it's something. If you love video games, you can stream your video games. Or do you maybe dream of having an internship at PlayStation? Can you tell I'm like listening to the Broski Report? That's like the first thing that came to my mind. Video games, because of she talks about Call of Duty all the time. Anyway, if you love coffee, would you maybe enjoy working at a coffee shop? Do you ideally one day just want to have your own espresso machine? Like, would you love to be able to come back from the walk that you're on and make yourself a nice, rich espresso drink from your own espresso machine at home? Would you love to have friends over on a Saturday morning and make them coffee? If you love watching movies, could you maybe lean into that and watch movies? And maybe you'll watch this one movie and there's a quote in it that just completely changes your life and challenges the way you think and makes you want to do a total 180 on your life. This is what I'm getting at. You just never know what moment in your life is going to be a canon event. We say the word canon event, core memories. Oh, I'm making core memories. You don't know when you're making core memories. You don't know when you're having a canon event until it's already done, until it's already passed. Me walking down the aisles of Target in 6th grade was a canon event for me, but I didn't know it in the moment. I was just walking down the aisles of Target with my mom looking for makeup for my sister. It was probably like a random night in February. I was probably cold. I was probably bored. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll go to Target with you. Like, it was probably the most uneventful day of my life, let alone, and here I am looking back on it. And that was a canon event that totally changed my life. I didn't know it in that moment. Me logging onto YouTube one day when I never, ever went on YouTube and I found a Katy Perry makeup tutorial, that was a canon event, but I had no idea in that moment. Me walking onto an elevator at IMATS to go up to my room to get like, I don't know, a piece of gum. I don't know why I was in the elevator at that moment. It was the middle of the day. I had to get something out of my room. And I ran into someone that changed my life. That was a canon event. And I had no idea it was a canon event until the moment was already passed. Me signing up for a spin class was a canon event, and I had no idea that it was until the moment already passed. You never know what events are going to change your life, what moments are going to change your life until the moment has already passed. So just continue showing up, continue leaning in, continue living in the present moment, because the present moment is what changes your life. Life can feel really confusing and really misleading at times, but rather than fighting it and trying to change it, just embrace it. Go along with it. Accept it. Cherish it. Life works in really mysterious ways, and everything happens for you. not against you. You guys know that one of my favorite quotes is the universe has no obligation to make sense to you. And if that ain't the damn truth, even when life feels really cruel and really mean, it's happening for you. Remember that. Your life can change at the drop of a hat in a really positive and impactful way, even if it doesn't feel like that right now. You just don't know when that change is coming. You don't know when that canon event is happening. Like right now, as you are listening to this could be a canon event and you have no idea until you look back on this 5 years from now and you're like, you know what? That moment changed my life. You might have no idea. And I kind of hope you don't. That makes it all the more special. So follow your gut and take it day by day and visualize, how do you want to live your day today, and make decisions that can get you as close to that as possible. Open your eyes to new possibilities around you. Life does not wait for anyone, and no moment other than this present moment in time is ever guaranteed, because it's truly all that we ever have. And if no one told you today, I will end this episode by telling you, you totally got this. You got this. Go out there and live a life. Lean into what excites you, because an insane journey is on the other side of completely leaning in and surrendering. Good luck. I cannot wait to hear about your story. And if you're feeling lost, what a blessing. Like, what a blessing to be so open to a life that you can't even dream, because that's how good it's going to be. So guys, I hope this helps. Yeah, that's really all that there is. Like, what more can you say? I really hope that this helps, and I really hope this resonates with you. And I love this topic, and this really lights me up, and I hope that was evident in this episode today. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for listening. Happy Manifest Monday, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have an incredible holiday, and I hope that you spend it with loved ones and with friends and with family. I hope you're safe, and I hope you guys are experiencing just an amazing holiday. So happy Manifest Monday. Please be sure to rate this podcast 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show. It also really helps the show if you guys share it, whether you text it to a friend, you put it on your Instagram story, you share it on TikTok. Anything that resonates with you, a share helps the show so much. I would also love your feedback. What do you guys think about the daily show? Is that something that you guys would like? Is it not? Let me know. It's definitely the direction that I would love to take this podcast. And obviously continue our Manifest Mondays with our normal episodes with topics about this, but then also daily shows on Tuesdays through Fridays. And that would just be amazing. And that would be my dream life right now. So thank you guys so much for listening. And again, I'll have the Power of Now link down below. Anything else I talked about link down below. And I love you guys. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, guys. When I started podcasting, an online store was quite literally the furthest thing from my mind. And now that I'm selling the Manifest Planner, it is so easy because all I do is use Shopify. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. So whether you're in the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way up to, oh my God, did I just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/manifest, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/manifest now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/manifest.